Alright. Alright, Pastafarians. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back. Tuesday, 4:30. 12,019, 30 of the 30th day of the 4th month. The 12,019th year of our language. Congratulations on rising again to another day. What a wonderful fucking gift it is from Flying Spaghetti Monster. Unfortunately, we're still sober as fuck. So, we are on a real short fuse today. And we've collected this whole bunch of shit to talk about that really fucking pisses us off. So today's going to be a very angry day. We're going to wait for an hour or two to get into the really heavy stuff. For when our regulars show up, because we're streaming a bit early today, although, yeah, because the porn studio was shut down, they weren't doing anything. It snowed again last night, so, they cancelled all their shit. I was able to get in here early, but I guess I'm not getting paid for today, so, you know, fucking good and bad. John Quick is here already, says, and he's very quick, he types, "Ramen, my brothers and sisters, ramen." John, may, Flying Spaghetti Monster blast his warm sauce all over you. May he touch you with his needly appendage while you sleep so that you may know the truth and have his love in your life. May Flying Spaghetti Monster look down on all of us with indignation and not caring so that we can just live our fucking lives by ourselves. I warmed up my lips and my voice a little, but let's say a prayer to Flying Spaghetti Monster. Oh, Flying Spaghetti Monster, he who created everything oh so long ago, banger of the big bangs, banger of the bangs, of the bigs, for creating this, thank you for creating this universe and then fuck offing so that we can just take care of it ourselves. Thank you for trusting us with such a wonderful and beautiful creation. Please, please, we do wish that, we are good stewards of your gift in the name of truth and love and reality and conversation and Flying Spaghetti Monster. Ramen. Sorry about the burps there. But I'm drinking soda pop because I have to caffeinate myself in the mornings. Otherwise I'm very lethargic and nobody wants that. But while we're here, you know, why don't we listen to this? the planet Earth, though. Not all the planets. I guess these planets might have better vocalists. I haven't listened to them all, quite yet. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream, welcome Pastafarians. My name is Schizophrenic Mitch. I'm a real Pastafarian preacher. I invite you to go listen to some of my sermons on this channel here. I've been preaching for 3 fucking years about the truth here, and very little change has happened. So I suppose it's time to redouble our efforts and get the fuck out there and get this fucking nightmare changed, because this planet we live on is fucking bullshit at the fucking moment. We're going to have to do something about it if we want to hand our kids a better world than we were given. And I think we do. I think everybody wants better for their kids than they had for themselves. I think so. That's one of our major blinders on the planet is that when we seek to give our children more than we had, we sort of give up everything for that idea. We put a lot of fucking carbon into the air and don't even count it. And so in trying to give our families, our children, these very cool, fun toys that we wish we had when we were kids, we're destroying the planet for them so they'll never get to enjoy what we had when we were kids. So, that's ironic. There's a lot of these fucking ironic churches out there, religions out there that say, fucking love and tolerance and let's fucking help each other out. And in the end, they're just burning the fucking planet to the ground and killing all their fucking gay kids with suicide and depression. So this fucking ironical planet's got to get cleaned up, and we're the ones to do it. And how are we going to clean it up? With satire, of course. Satire, one of the greatest fucking tools of all time. Let me tell you about a time that satire worked so good, worked so fucking well, that the person who did it thought that they had committed a crime, thought that they had done something worth apologizing for. I can't show it to you, because this world-class satire, because it's been removed from the internet, if you can believe that. Removed from the internet, cannot be found. It hasn't happened for many things. It's happened for the proof about the Berenstain Bears. That shit's been removed from the Illuminati. Proof of Loch Ness has been removed from the internet. They've got that off. And also, the fucking parody of the Mormon Church's apology for being so fucking racist has been removed. And if you can find it, please, read it, and please send it to me. This is some of the greatest satire that has ever been attempted by humankind. And so let me tell you this story as best as I recollect it, because that's where it is now. In only our recollection, we can no longer go back and point at the story to new people, because it's vanished from the internet. So, as far as I can tell, on May 17th, 2018, so almost a year ago, a young man was sick and fucking tired of the Mormon Church, and the Mormon Church was coming up on their 40th anniversary of not being so fucking racist, and they were so proud of it. 40 years ago, right before I was born, by the way, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, otherwise, they like to be known as the Mormons, though. So the Mormon Church, they really hated black people right to their face. And so, although they allowed black people to be baptized, they did not allow people to go through the Mormon temple or receive the priesthood, which of course is required for exaltation, which is code for going to heaven. When Mormons say exaltation, they mean the highest level of heaven. And without the priesthood, and without the endowment ceremony given in the temple, no African American, no human of African descent could get into Mormon heaven until 1978. And then, last year, which was 40 years after them changing their mind about that, of saying, oh, we've prayed about it, And we're no longer going to behave like this anymore because God says it's not an okay way to behave. And so we're going to stop because God told us to. And it's really interesting that God told them to kind of at the exact time when the American government also fucking told them to. So I don't know if they meant that the American government is their God, or they meant that the American government understands God better than them. But in either case, it really looks really bad for Kimball. Is Kimball the fuck that finally done it? And what's really interesting is the guy before him, McKay,
said he talked to God.
Said that he went and asked God this exact same question.
Just a few years earlier.
Just a short time before, said, God, is it time yet to fucking stop being so fucking racist to our loving and wonderful brothers and sisters who come in and to our church with good faith in their hearts and trying to live a life pure in thy sight? Should we give them the priesthood and their God, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac and Jacob? The God who asked Abraham to kill his kid, the God who told Moses to murder the idolaters, the God
of Nephi that told him to murder.
The God of Nephi that told him to slay Laban, chop his head off and steal his bloody clothes.
Good to kill one.
That God said, no, fuck those guys. And let me tell you why. There was a war in heaven, and a third of the hosts of heaven were against the other 2/3, but one of the other thirds didn't really do shit, so they're all fucking black now, and don't give them the priesthood. And so,
according to Brigham Young, there are servants in heaven.
Servants forever. That no black person will get exaltation until after all the white people are done getting it. And so that happened. You know, McKay said that, and then fucking Kimball came in and said, actually, you know what? Now that our fucking tax haven is under attack, let's stop being so fucking racist. And then yesterday, or last year, which was 40 years later, they were like, let's celebrate how not racist we've been for a very, very short amount of time. Practically or effectively not racist, or not even effectively, because they're still real fucking racist. They're just sort of...
They sent out a call
less
for
racist than before.
African-American performers to come perform in this celebration.
Yeah, so you can go watch that. You can go watch the Mormon celebration of they're not quite so racist anymore. They were very, very happy about that. They made a video about that. Or they had a celebration there in Salt Lake City, and I guess at the Tabernacle, and or the other thing, the new Tabernacle, the conference center, the great building with a lot of space inside of it. And so I invite you to go watch that for as much as you can tolerate. I suggest you find the middle of it where they have this very long sort of musical. I don't know, a lot of African music, and so people wearing sort of African style costumes with long sleeve underclothes
garments.
so that they're, oh my god, it is a farce. It's ridiculous. And right around that same time, back to the story, a young man posted a fake website. Now, the Mormons like to put official messages out onto the internet through a site called Mormon Newsroom. And this man created another site called Mormon-Newsroom. And then on Mormon-Newsroom, he made an official apology from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to all those people they've ever been racist to. And it didn't go viral, you know, but people saw it and talked to other people about
members.
it. Oh yeah,
slightly.
Yeah, some of the post Mormons.
Social media. Maybe.
Yeah, like it got a lot of hits. It didn't show up on the world stage, but fucking and not all Mormons were aware of it, but some were.
Yeah, a lot of Mormons are taught not to look at anything on the internet, even their own church's website.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can look at the church's website.
But they don't believe it.
So I'm going to read you a little bit from religionnews.com here about this thing, because I cannot read you the original, so I'm only going to, because I can't find it, as I've said before. It's been removed from the internet, which doesn't fucking happen. In a fake story published with a URL that was only one character from the church's official website of MormonNewsroom.org, LDS President Russell M. Nelson was quoted as issuing a full apology. Today, is the quote. The quote goes, "Today, as prophet, seer, and revelator, and president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I offer a full, unqualified apology for the error of racism which was taught from this office and in the tabernacle and over the pulpits of our church the world over. I am joined by my counselors on the First Presidency and the full quorum of 12 apostles in making this apology, and we collectively bear witness and testimony of the devastating effects of racism which were perpetuated by leaders of the church in the past." Quote ends there. The article continues. The faux statement went on to specify some of the racist acts of the church had perpetuated, such as teaching false and hurtful ideas about curses, skin color, and spiritual worthiness, and excluding anyone with black skin from the church's temple rituals, which was the policy until 1978. The website was clearly calculated to exactly emulate the layout and design of the church's official website. For comparison, they show us 2 screenshots, but guess what? Those screenshots are missing, aren't they? That you can't even find a screenshot of this thing. This great parody, this perfect satire. Maybe this is a screenshot of it. Let me read it. President Nelson meets with NAACP, offers apology for history of racism. 17th May 2018. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints issues the following statement. Racism. Throughout history and continuing into modern times, the issue of racism has caused great suffering and division. Racism affects the hearts and minds of individuals and leads to uncharitable and harmful treatment of God's children. Institutions may also display racism by enacting policies and perpetuating teachings which harm minorities directly or through purposeful exclusion, leading to lost opportunities for blessings. So, this parody is practically perfect. Like, he cared. He made it look like it. And,
worked really hard.
He worked really hard, and many people saw it, and many people, reacted to it. Here is someone on Twitter, looks to be a young woman of color, probably Mormon, sitting in my bed, crying. I always knew this was true, but this means a lot. Sounds like she had a very emotional day about it. Continues, and if the LDS Church doesn't respond in the way they want, then what? There are black members who've been wanting them to say this for decades, so your brilliant plan was to throw black folks' emotions under the bus and maybe get the church to react. That's some white savior BS. Okay, so after he published this thing, he got a lot of backlash, and because of that backlash, he expunged the whole thing from the internet, which I did not think was possible, but he was capable of doing it. Congratulations. But I do want to say to these people who are blaming him for the painful feelings that they felt, I want to say to them, you are so fucking wrong. You are not pointing your anger where your anger needs to go. Do not be mad at this man for pointing at the problem. Be mad at your hateful church for creating it. And that is exactly what he was exposing. He did, and too much of it came back at him. He got afraid and had to shut it down. I respect that. I respect that as something that a normal person wouldn't want in their life. But I declare there are no such thing as normal people anymore. We cannot be normal. You cannot hide. The time has come to walk out of the flock, to make your voice known, and to do risky fucking things. To fucking be there. To state your opinion. Don't back down from it. Don't try to fucking hide from the truth that you know in your heart. Declare it loudly and deal with the consequences. Because it is this pain that Janan, who blames it on the satirist, the pain that she's feeling is not because of the satirist. He did not want to come in and be the white savior bullshit that she's identifying. He wanted merely to identify how easy it is to be a true and good prophet in the name of a true and good God, and how different these people are from that thing which we all can obviously see. To come out and apologize and say no more and denounce racism and say we were guilty of it, our God was guilty of it, and we will not do it anymore. And that's what should happen, and we all knew it, and when we saw it, we felt the Holy Ghost telling us that it's true. Janan said, sitting in bed crying, I always knew this was true, and it means a lot. It sure would mean a lot, and we all do know it's true, that the Mormon Church is a bunch of racist motherfuckers still, and they use their fucking quote-unquote authority to pour hate on whomever they want. They scapegoat whomever they want, whether it's their black followers, whether it's their gay followers, whether it's their sexual followers, whether it's their trans followers. Whomever they want, they will throw under the bus with no remorse, no apology, because their God can't apologize. And if this satire hurt your feelings, you're right. It really, really, really does. But the satirist didn't do it. He merely exposed it. To blame him is incorrect. Ian Wood is here. Hello, Ian Wood. Hey, guys and dolls. Hello. Thank you for joining us. We're very angry today. Very fucking angry. Just to fucking get you prepared. Less than 3 trolling says, religious satire are always fun. What else do you think I converted? Yes. Yeah, thank you for showing up again, our viewers here. We started a little bit early because we're even more out of weed today, which is fucking intolerable. But you know, we'll deal with it. We'll just be really, really, really pissed. I've been collecting things that I've been pissed about, and so we'll just fucking talk about them. So, if you can find a copy of that satire, I would love to read it again. It is one of the greatest examples of satire ever created by a human. It caused so much emotion in the people that were able to see it, and they misplaced their anger about that emotion on the person who identified the problem. So I suppose we need to remember, as reactors, that we are silencing the prophets. We are frightening them when we tell them that their satire is white savior bullshit. So your brilliant plan was to throw black folks' emotions under the bus to maybe get the church to react. No, his plan was not to get the church to react. He wasn't trying to goad the church into changing their thing. The whole point is, we Mormons know that if you ever go up to any of those people and say, I know better than you, they will always double down on, no, you fucking don't. And so even though I knew that the November policy that excluded homosexuals from their fucking church was hateful and needed to be removed as possible, or as soon as possible, and I knew that the day they posted it, it took them 4.5 years to figure it out, and they called it revelation. I had that revelation on the fucking day, didn't I? If I go in and say, hey, Russell, I can help you out because that shit you said was obviously poison, and I would have helped you not say that, he would say, you're going to hell for questioning me. So no, the creator of the satire did not expect the church to change its policy. He was merely highlighting the fucking hypocrisy of a church celebrating how they've stepped their racism down a little bit for a couple decades. That is not an apology, and these people are still owed an apology. And by the way, it's not just black folks' emotions that were thrown under the bus here. It is all of our emotions. I got very emotional about the idea that perhaps my fucking hateful church that I was raised in got their shit together and finally apologized. Fucking centuries-old apology. Yeah, fucking owned up to their responsibility and the fucking death and destruction and mayhem they are causing in the families that they profess to love. iLesson3 Trolling says, if you're complaining about a lack of weed, can't you just buy some from a dispensary? You're in Colorado, not SD like my sober ass. Yeah, that's... I could go to a dispensary if I had any spare dollars. This brings us sort of to our next point. Maybe I'll even show you a picture for this one. This is Representative Rep. Katie Porter here, representative for the California 45th, lives in Irvine.
Before this one, do you
Yes.
have any more posts on that other one? I swear I saw another tweet that someone said that I wanted to talk about too. From the
About this one?
the apology, yeah. Did you open any other articles?
Yeah, maybe you want to go back. You want to see some others?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look how bad I am at spelling.
It's people blaming victims.
Yeah, blaming the victims.
Yeah.
Because the satirist is also a victim. So I'm not saying he's an African American. I'm saying that all Mormons are victims of the racism that is handed down from the church. That I, as a white Mormon, was programmed to be racist by these fuckers, and
And when I got out, I could see how terrible it was.
yeah, that I was also a victim of this racism. The racism was in my mind. This person here, barefoot in the chapel, and chapel is you know, that's a sort of a Mormon word. Shame, shame, shame to those who issued a fake apology from the LDS Church today. You are not followers of Christ, nor are you allies. It was brutal and re-traumatizing. I am ashamed of this and cannot be silent. And then she continues. Don't be ashamed of those that point at the criminals. Be ashamed of the criminals. Don't be ashamed of the fake apology. Be ashamed that there needed to be a fake apology because there was no real apology. Be ashamed that the real apology is not forthcoming even 4 fucking decades later. That these cowards are afraid of saying the words, "We were wrong." And they will use all of their money and all of their power to fight that forever. That the Catholic Church will never say they were wrong. They'll just say, "We wish that hadn't happened so poorly." But they will never say, "We murdered in the name of our God, and that was fucking shitty, and we will never, never, never do something like that again. I fucking dare you." And they can't. They're fucking cowards. Friends, if you come across a statement from President Nelson through the Mormon newsroom, please check the URL to make sure it doesn't have a hyphen in it. I read a hoax statement and was overcome with pure joy. And that's what they're embarrassed about. Is when they read it, they felt the Holy Ghost.
Yep.
And the Holy Ghost said to them, "This is good, and this is true, and this is due, and this is owed." And then when they realized, but my leaders didn't behave like this. My leaders are less than what I can imagine. And they realized that that joy they had is not a joy we can feel in this reality, but only in an alternative one, where the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints isn't so hateful. That we live in not the best universe, that there are better places and we need to make this place better. And to pretend that the hoaxer is the cause of this pain is to totally misunderstand this pain. Pardon me. So, some of the greatest satire that has ever been created. A fake apology for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And the man who did it was so worried. And so many people were telling him that it was his fault.
Yeah, even ex-Mormons were telling him.
Mormons, ex-Mormons, non-Mormons,
yeah.
Everyone was telling him he shouldn't have done this, and they are dead wrong. He absolutely should have. He should keep it up. He should stand by it as a piece of art because it's beautiful. And so, Dudes, guys, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be so fucking pissed all day long. Yeah, sorry, Ian Wood. He says, wow, you really do need some weed. You know, I really do. Like, it would help. Maybe I've got to do, like, meditations to fucking simulate it. Here's a little bit of shit to listen to while we meditate. Justin Johnson, a great fucking YouTube guitarist. Definitely worth your time. Justin Johnson. You can watch him fucking tear these blues out of his device right there on the YouTube. Alright. Rep Katie Porter, here she is. She the other day got up in front of the world, and specifically JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon. And she asked him, theoretically, if I worked for you in Irvine, California, and I had one child, how would I make ends meet? And the CEO of the company, who could change his company's policy with I suppose with a whim, says, geez, I really don't fucking know. I don't know the solution to this. So she goes through the math here, and he says, I'm not sure your numbers are correctly. So here she is on Twitter pointing us at the numbers of how to live in Irvine, California as a single mother. One of the things that the president of JP Morgan Chase says was that the job that we're talking about that makes $16.50 an hour is meant for high school graduates, people who've recently graduated from high school. So he said
Still living at home.
he was implying that they were getting this deficit was being made up by the person that they lived with, and he was also saying that this deficit doesn't mean anything if you don't have the kid. If you don't have a kid, then it's fine. And first of all, you're allowed to have kids in high school. As soon as you're able to have kids, I suppose it's your right to have them as a human. And so for him to say that if you have a kid before you become financially stable, you're not invited to be part of his conglomeration is really sort of duplicitous. And so, I bring this up because I'm warning people about the cults that they belong to. And absolutely, capitalism is a cult. There is a god in it, the invisible hand that fucking Dickmouth proposed, and all these free capitalists, free market capitalists, worship that. That if we just get our hands off of the controls, then the only hands on the controls will be God's hands, and He'll be doing it correctly in the way it should be done.
People that are worthy will be the top 1%.
Right, and that a meritocracy will prevail, and if you work hard, then you'll be able to get paid hard. But that's not true, because look at here, we're looking at somebody who works 40 hours a week, doesn't miss a fucking day, doesn't miss a fucking week.
No vacations.
No vacations, and they're still down 567 a month. And myself, when I was captain of the Ramshackle, it was me and 4 others that I had to take care of, and so the numbers were sort of different here. Numbers for the phone were different. Utilities, 100 for utilities is sort of very low. So they're saying that 2 people, an adult and a child, the low-cost food cost for an adult and a child is $402, and so 2 adults and 2 children is $804, and add another kid to that, and you get, I don't know, just under $1,000 in food that it costs to feed these humans, and the rent is $1,600. What are you guys paying rent? Is she fucking correct to say that in Irvine, California, it's $1,600 for a 1-bedroom for yourself and your 6-year-old kiddo? And so here is a hero saying that the way the numbers are set up doesn't benefit the people at the bottom rung. And of course that is capitalism's model, is to abuse the worker for the capitalist and pass the savings on to the customer. Pass the profits on to the CEOs and undercut your competition by a fraction of a cent.
Yeah, and now the money goes to different cities. It doesn't even stay in that city.
Mm.
Like the CEO who works for that company is not spending money in that city.
The locality.
He's spending it in other places because he can live anywhere.
And does.
So he spends his money in other cities.
So
benefit.
Yeah. So I'm not really. What I'm doing here is just pretty much saying, please give me your fucking money and I'll buy weed with it. Because look, everyone's fucking poor. This whole country is in a deficit. Everyone's fucking living like this, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's the American dream. I still owe, what, $93,000 for fucking student loans that I've never used in my whole entire... Well, I suppose I did when I was working in oil. When I was participating in the death of this planet by stealing the very lifeblood out of the core of it and then letting it just sort of rot away with the abscesses that we create, that create earthquakes and similar out there in Oklahoma. I do invite you to see the earthquake rate for the great state of Oklahoma and see if it's gone up or down since the fracking. I bet you can guess which it's done. Whether earthquakes have increased in Oklahoma since they've been fracking, or whether they've reduced. And so, maybe I'm wrong about this, okay? Maybe I'm wrong, but I think, from what I understand, because I watched The Wonder Years, what I understand is, back in the 50s, right after World War II, when we came home and said, well, I guess we're the moral people on the planet, I guess our God was on our side, and even though we were doing things very, 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 very similar to the fucking Nazis, at least we weren't quite as bad as them in that we didn't fucking have a gas chamber. So even though we were doing a lot of their methods and a lot of their fucking beliefs,
round up people and put them in prisons.
we never got to the point where we're like, well, I mean, if we just gassed them, then we wouldn't have to feed them. And so, I guess we're the good guys. And then right after that, we were like, alright, we're the good guys of the world. And we went home, we fucked our wives, we pumped babies into them. Those babies started coming out, and we went to work, and we told our wife, you stay home all day, take care of these babies. And we'll go out, and we'll make lots of money, and that will pay for our house, that will pay for our cars, and that will pay for our children's college tuition. And that's the American dream, and we're giving it because we're the good guys, the moral guys. But now, look, the American dream is dead as fuck. You want to live in this country, you're going $500 in debt every fucking month. And you deserve it, because you're not working hard enough. And you've got a kid? Oh, I do say, you should have focused on your fucking career before you ever decided to bring another American onto this planet.
And obviously, if you're a single parent, then you deserve to be poor.
That's right! Because everyone who's a good person is in a good, God-fearing marriage. And you don't have to pay for after-school childcare because your wife can stay home and work, because that's what wives are for. So, basically, the JP Morgan Chase guy said, yeah, single mothers are not invited to participate in our company, especially in Irvine, California. It's only for people who are willing to get screwed for the prestige of working for my bullshit theft company.
And then he had the gall to say, but she could work hard and be making my
money he said, someday maybe she'll get my job. No, she won't. You know why? She's really busy paying off the $567 deficit that she's accruing each month because you're stealing from her. So, your meritocracy isn't going to allow her into your position because A, she's a girl, and B, she's living a good life for love and her family. And you cannot do that and make money in this fucking country. You have to give up every fucking thing for your god, dollar bills. For your god of capitalism. Give up your family, give up your relationships, and give us all your life. 40 hours a week for 52 weeks a year, and you'll still be starving. I Less Than 3 Trolling says, worked for Big Oil, contributing to global warming, now you're a pirate trying to fix it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I did work for Big Oil. I worked during the deficit, the deficit, what's the thing that happened in 2008? Yeah, the recession. Remember the 2008 recession? I was able to move to Oklahoma City, and there were a lot of oil companies that were practically, quote-unquote, recession-proof. And because I don't know if you know about OPEC, I don't really want to get into that, but so fucking blood money was coming into the state of Oklahoma, and I was getting that blood money. They had me in a mortgage. I was fully into this fucking corporate scam, and then I fucking got to travel to Saudi Arabia, and I saw the direction we were headed, and I invite you to find any pictures you can of Jubail, of the many square miles of refineries that just pollute that area. The Jubail refineries, miles and miles. It's like 7 miles by 4 miles full of refineries. And you're not allowed to take pictures of them, because they're only 100 miles away from Iran. Only 100 miles away from this insane violence. And there they are refining these oils. And so, I was out there and I was working and I saw the abuse. They ship young men in from all over the world. They take their passports from them. They have them work on the thing. They deny them alcohol, they deny them sex, they deny them their family, they deny them pretty much everything they can and turn them into modern slaves for fucking...
They let them see their family like once a year, maybe?
Once a year. Let me tell you
If
about
they're
one of my very good friends I met while I was out there. His name is Muhammad Arif. And one day, and he was born in 1970, and he was a very good person. He lived in India. He lived close to the Himalayas in the north, sort of eastern side of India. He could look up and see the Himalayas. His village was very small. He got a job in Saudi Arabia. He would go out there for 2 years at a time and come home to his wife and family, create another baby, and then leave, come home again 2 years later, meet his now 1.5-year-old child, stay for a week or so, and come back. One of the times he went home to India, he asked for a month extra to stay home, and in that month he used his wealth and his power to bring electricity to his village. The electricity finally turned on for a couple hours in the middle of the night. He bribed the right people, he got the wires built or whatever, and they got electricity for a couple hours every night, and there was much rejoicing. And celebrating for the work that this great man had done for his village. And then he left again to Saudi Arabia, where he worked hard and hard, and he worked weekends, and he died of a heart attack at his desk on Saturday while he was working overtime, and they found him on Monday. And what a great tragedy, what a great loss. Great man was murdered. With his love for his family, he was manipulated and caused to work harder than humans were created to work. And it killed him. I'll be right back. I guess I still do weep for Muhammad Arif. I suppose you don't have to. I'm sort of not detailing it quite well, but I hope that you don't mind, as I do, weep for those murdered in the name of capitalism. Those whose families are used against them to cause them to give away as much of their life as their employers can take. I am emotional because I'm sober. It's very, very hard to deal with my anger without sort of the music to temper it. I am a very angry person, as many people on the street notice. However, when I tell them why I'm angry, they call me crazy. So I don't know what that's about. I'm angry because lies make me angry. People who lie and people who steal and people who murder make me really upset. And we live in a world of that. That the game works if everyone's cheating equally. And so those of us for whom it is against our religion to cheat are at a severe disadvantage in this hateful system. So, again, my apologies. Quite unbecoming. I should be able to focus my words and emotions, not so sloppy, as it were, as a public figure, as a priest and preacher. I should be able to contain this. My apologies again. So, yeah, if you're not able to make the dollar bills meet at the end of the month, you're not alone. That is the way the game is played, from what we can tell. Your phone is a luxury, and your car is a luxury, and your utilities are a luxury, and that room that your children sleep in, that's a luxury, according to the employers and the CEOs and our masters. That our cages are a bit too nice, and we really should give them more of our money. We should really... What was there? There was just something floating around the internet a couple years ago about an employer being like, I really wish my employers would say this to me. And one of the statements was, I love working here, I would do it for free. And the point is, who the fuck do you think you are? You're an employer. You're not God. You're not... And so, when you're in a relationship with someone and they're giving you money, they think you owe them. They think that they are your benefactor. Your employer really does have a feeling in their heart of like, you're welcome for this job. You're welcome that I give you permission to be alive by choosing you to be my employee.
And you better show me with your extra hard work.
Yeah, working too hard. And I invite you to leave any company that treats you this way. Because although they may, be financially successful, as Jeff Bezos is, they're not good people. And remove them from your life. Walk out. Quit your job for Bob, says the sub-genii. So, congratulations, Rep. Katie Porter. Hopefully you will stay in power long enough to change something or other. But we doubt it, eh? We doubt that you can fucking fix any of these problems. Fucking nightmares. There's more on the list. There's more on our moron list to talk about for the next hour and a half. Until 2 o'clock my time, when I will be trying to shut this down and move on to the next parts of my life. I'm worried to recall them, though, because many of the things that I'm thinking about today are very emotional, and I don't want to cause myself to be so embarrassingly emotional again. I guess I don't have a choice, though. It's time to talk about a lot of these things. What are we going to talk about? What's next, Joe?
I want to talk about the crisis of tens of thousands of species at a high risk of extinction. And it's an even bigger crisis than the climate change. But
It's the same thing, though, isn't it?
this is due to plastic in the animals' bellies. It's due to habitats being destroyed. It's more than just our emissions causing our atmosphere to deteriorate.
It's also the sprawling human habitat that is...
and our trash and waste.
that when we just dump that in the ocean.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of these stories you're seeing about dead whales with stomachs full of plastic, but I really didn't know that when I was using a plastic bag to carry my cereals from the checkout stand to my car and then again to my house, this tiny, boring bullshit convenience, was costing me the lives of the whales. I did not know that. I think that if I had known that, I would have made different choices, and I do now make different choices. I count it as a point every time I reuse these bags that I have. Hey, I've got 5 to 10 of these bags that I use when I grocery shop. Generally, I use 0 plastic bags, and I'm proud of that. Although, you know, sort of a minimal thing, sort of stupid. I would be much prouder if I had given up my dependence on the company Nestle years ago. Hey,
Yes.
I don't know if Joe Manassis is in the audience there, but he comes and talks to us quite a lot, and he reminds us that the most evil corporation on this planet is Nestle, and they are fucking murdering willy-nilly out there in Brazil and just destroying the wilderness
Around the world,
and
there are
peoples.
reports of them murdering
That they are a very, very terrible company.
little towns that cannot get, what is it, recompensation or justice.
Yeah, can't fucking hire the lawyers that they need to fight
Third
the
world
capitalist
towns.
bullies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the banana republics that are forced into slave labor by the multinational corporations.
Or
Yeah.
those we asked to work in China for us to make our things, and they are trying to commit suicide, and they put bars up.
The nets to catch these suicidal iPhone makers.
Yeah.
Get back to work, iPhone maker. No suicide for you today. This is our world, eh? And we can change it. I'm not proud of this. I don't know who could be, aside from the president at the moment, proud of how great his country is. And how white it is.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Oh my. Alright, I'm sorry. This'll help. Let's do this. This'll help a little bit. Another song. My apologies.
Sometimes you're better off dead. There's a gun in your hand that's pointing at your head. You think you're mad, too unstable, kicking in chairs and knocking down tables in a restaurant in a West End town. Call the police, there's a madman around, running down underground to a dive bar in a West End town. In a West End town, a dead end world, the East End boys and West End girls. In a West End town, a dead end world, the East End boys and West End girls. West End girls. Too many shadows, whispering voices, faces on posters, too many choices. If, when, why, what, how much have you got? Have you got it, do you get it? If so, how often? Which you choose, a hard or soft option? city and every nation, from Lake Geneva to the Finland station. And a western town, a dead-end world, the eastern boys and western girls. A western town, a dead-end world, eastern boys, western girls. Western girls.
Welcome back, Pastafarians. Thank you for joining us today. I again apologize for how incredibly emotional I am today. What a mess I am today. I do apologize for this. I might have to end early and fucking go off and take care of my fucking self. But I do have a couple other things to talk about. A little bit more positive, a little happier. I am good friends with many of the people that I went to high school with. I went to high school for geniuses out there in Southern California, and many of the people I met and associated with when I went to that school have gone on to do great and wonderful things. I like to highlight these things on my YouTube channel and videos that I call High School for Geniuses. One of the geniuses two of the geniuses I went to high school together have gotten married. High school married to each other, and have been married for quite some time, and made an announcement this last week. Let me see if I can share this announcement with you.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
That was kind of short.
I mean, I think I'm in. I think I would go and watch that.
I just think for like anticipation wise, it's like if you're gonna make that kind of announcement, like I want to see it. You know what I mean? Like I want all the details.
Sure, and I could have also used more reactions from Sophie and Norbert, because I really didn't get a sense of like how they really felt about it.
Good call.
And who were those people?
Right. Why should I care?
Yeah, I know. I don't know who they are. Oh, they have an announcement? Well, great. Are we invested?
I don't know.
I mean, what's the backstory there?
Yeah.
No dialogue.
No dialogue.
No voiceover.
Yeah.
Just some titles. Bookending it. It was short.
It was very short.
I mean, is that even a real teaser at this point, or is it like a teaser for a teaser?
Teasers. Yeah, I think about 30 seconds is good for a teaser.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So,
qualifies.
what would you score it?
7.8.
Yeah, I think I would give it. Well, I'm a little more generous because I like the theme. So 8.2.
It warms the heart.
Yeah, but who knows? I mean, maybe when it comes out, it'll be a 10.
So there's good friends of mine, in that they are very good people, and that they are my friends. That was Brandon Jones and Amanda Troop. Brandon Jones can be seen over there at the Easy Allies stream on Twitch. They stream live to Twitch, and they also post their shit to YouTube. Learn all about the upcoming video games. The reason that the joke, of course, if you don't know them, is that Brandon Jones is a founding member of the Game Trailers project from a decade or more ago, and has turned that into the Easy Allies after it got shut down a couple of years ago. 3 years, in fact. They just celebrated their 3-year anniversary of this
Easy Allies.
Easy Allies. Yeah. So congratulations to them for their pregnancy. I myself had my first child when I was 25 or 6, almost 26, and my last child by the time I was 30, 31, and so I do not envy all the times they're going to have to pick their kid up and carry them around in their old ass fucking late 30s bodies. Good luck, you fucks. Congratulations. I'm very happy about that. I was told this secret when I was down there for the anniversary, the 3-year anniversary. And during my spring tour, I visited them and was told this secret that they are with child. And he said, Mitch, can you keep a secret? And I said, no, I can't, but tell me anyway. And he did. And so I definitely did not keep that secret. In fact, I told as many people as I could who I knew were not part of the sort of
stream
audience so that they could keep their secret to their public audience for as long as they wanted to. So again, congratulations to BJ Jones and Amanda Troop, Brandon Jones. If you go Google Star Wars the Musical, you will find me and Brandon Jones as Han Solo and Chewbacca. I invite you to find that and watch that. Star Wars the Musical, of course, put on by the High School for Geniuses, written and directed and produced by the great Garen Hagen and Kevin Bayuk, who you may remember from my previous interview.
What year was that?
The year was 1997, if I'm correct. No, 6.
6 is
7.
when I graduated.
I think 7. 6 or 7. 6 or 7. 6, I think.
I think it's 6. If Garen wasn't a senior.
Spring of 2000.
Was he a senior when I was a senior?
1996.
Spring of 96.
Yeah, I think he was in our year. Yeah.
Okay.
It was our year.
Then
That was our year.
Our year.
So we've had a long relationship, Brandon and I. He is a member of the Funny Farm, which you may recall that I've been talking about. Let's talk a little bit about Pastafarian persecution. Enough of the happy announcements. Back to the fucking sad world of religious hate and persecution. As far as I can tell, in Ireland for this last year, before January, I think, I don't remember when it was, but the Catholic Pope, visited Ireland, and the Pastafarian preacher over there, whose name I don't recall at the moment, but you can find him on Twitter. Let me see if I can pull that up. He was the Pope visited. I don't know why I'm doing this. Hold on, I'm fucking up my. I've got to think and talk at the same time. Here he is. RCCOFSM at COFSM_Ireland. That's who we're talking about. Maybe I'll put this on the video so you can look at it. Have a look at this. This man here is Ireland's sort of premier and prominent
Picture of him.
Pastafarian. Is this him? Is that right? So this could be him. Today our church. Yes. So the papal visit to Dublin in 12,018. So the details, as I understand them, are the Pope visited. The local municipality decided that it would be a good idea to make the buses to and from the event free. And this man here, who was wanting to use that religious freedom to bolster our members, the same religious freedom that was handed to... Oh, no. It's not religious freedom, but religious privilege. He wanted the same religious privilege that the fucking Catholics got. For, take 2. Should I start over? Just rewind all that. Just edit this out. So, the Pope visited and was given a strange religious privilege, and our Pastafarian friend here noticed an imbalance and said, well, I expect that same religious privilege for my religion, we will be meeting in a very close place to that other place, and the buses can be used not only free for Catholics, but free for Pastafarians as well. And he was denied that privilege. And so now, this year, he is litigating against those people who have decided the world ought to be thus. Because the world oughtn't be thus. The world ought to be that no civil fundage is used for promoting hateful, or any religion, let alone the hateful religion of the Catholics with their demon mythology and their burning of the world for their god. And so,
murdering of prostitutes,
and for the killing of the prostitutes. I don't know if you saw that video, but the Catholic said that he said, the phrase that he said was, if you were God, you would kill all the murderers and you would kill all the prostitutes. And so I'm not sure if he's saying, if God were here, he would kill all the prostitutes. If we were as good as God, we would kill the murderers and kill the prostitutes. Because he said you, and so I think he was trying to say, you're the kind of person that would kill the murderers and kill the prostitutes. And it's like, I don't know why on earth you think that about me. Nothing that I've said has given you, could have been construed to be like, my position is all murderers should be murdered and all fucking prostitutes should be murdered. And so that fucking hateful thought came out of his head. And I am married to a sex worker, and I think that sex work is moral work, as moral as the fucking work that I did in the oil field, as moral as the fucking damage that I'd done to this planet to fucking pay my bills and pay my mortgage in Oklahoma, as moral as the Catholic priests who do their work, as moral as any of this shit. Fucking sex work is definitely moral. If you have money and you want sex in your life, I don't see any reason other than religious to say that you should not be able to trade money for sex. And if you have any reason other than a religious reason, I do invite you to identify that reason. Because I think for years and years and years and forever, we have hated the prostitutes and sex workers for merely religious reasons, and I think that that's obscene. Same with killing witches for religious reasons. I don't think there is a religious reason to kill a witch, is there? And so all the witches who have died in the name of religion are owed an apology. And I wonder who's going to give that apology. I will, for in the name of religion, in the name of the true God of this world, people who misunderstand truth have enacted hate in the name of God. And I apologize that that's possible. I apologize that this world is such that such good things can be used for hate. But that is religion, that is the game they're playing, and let's fight. Let's fight them. Let's oppose them. Let's point out those things that they do that are nonsense and obscene. And let's fucking sue the Pope. Because that's fun. Fuck the Pope, right? Even the new one, even the new nice Pope. And they got two Popes now, right? They've got the retired Pope who gets to come out of retirement whenever he wants and be as racist and fucking hateful as he wants. And then the new Pope gets to be like, oh, well, yeah, but... And then every Catholic gets to fucking decide what they want to listen to anyway. Because they are sending mixed messages. And so Catholics get to hear whatever they want. Catholics the world over just get to continue in their strange hate. And they are also, not only do they continue, but they are funded by non-Catholics. The Catholic cathedral burns, and non-Catholics have all this money to spare. I have a cousin. Let me tell you the story of one of my cousins, a web like me, and who is still Mormon. And so this is part of my conundrum. I'm going to tell you a story about a very good person who's Muslim or Mormon. And in fact, I told you a story previous to now about a very, very good person who is a Muslim. So my cousin, I lost one of my cousins in a... Jeez, I'm very sorry, guys. I'm so emotional today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through any of my stories. Good God. a small. My cousin and her husband and their 2 kids were in a very small plane that her husband was flying, and that plane crashed soon after launch, or soon after takeoff one day, and the entire vehicle and all those inside were incinerated, and we lost them. And we live in a very strange world where people make bets on other people dying, and it's called life insurance. And her life insurance paid off and gave all of this money to my other cousins. All of a sudden had this windfall. But all this money meant could only be seen as you've lost something you love. Like, how can the money ever replace that? And so these cousins, one in particular, Wendy, we'll call her, because that's her name, took that money and tried to do good with it, and did do good with it, did great good. Uses this money to fund trips to Haiti, where people are undereducated. And she is attempting to use the money that she got in lieu of her sister, and trying to use that money to benefit humans as a memorial. Find that to be very touching, and I, it's hard to contain the emotions that causes me. And recently, she posted on her Facebook something very ironic and sad, that there was another Notre Dame, there was another cathedral named Notre Dame in Haiti when they had their big earthquake. And that cathedral has not been rebuilt. It stands there still desecrated and ruined, as a reminder to all the people of Haiti that no one in this earth cares. And yet we will mobilize ourselves, we will mobilize and join together to say loudly, we definitely care about the one in the Disney film. That one matters. But the one in Haiti does not. And Haiti was, she points out, a French colony. And so, unfortunate that a fire that happened during reconstruction of a national monument was enough to mobilize the world, to give billions, and yet the suffering and destruction caused by the Haitian earthquake is still ignored, and those people in Puerto Rico are still ignored, and those people in Flint are still ignored, because they're just too brown to care about, eh? So, I don't know why religion's got to be so weird and racist, but it really does show up over and over. This idea of God's chosen people and our nation is the best and our borders are worthy of dealing death over. So, yes, I'm sorry, my friends. I'm going to shut it off today and go for a hike, go for a walk. I appreciate the time that you've spent with me. I'll be back tomorrow. And
Live your life loud.
Yeah. Love loud. Don't be afraid to speak truth to power. Call a liar a liar.
Climbing up on Salisbury Hill, I could see the city light. Wind was blowing, time stood still. Keeping silence, I resign.